Where's that WoW tab? Yeah, so I pulled up the video again. We're gonna just look through the little bits of content I remember of what was cut out.
And Tom, just to jump in on that, the one thing that really makes Draenor different from Azeroth is that Azeroth has all these different empires over time.
Can you hear very well? It's kind of quiet. Let me turn it up a bit.
There's all these different kind of handprints of who is in control at any given time. And what's really interesting about Draenor is it's a much more savage world. The ogres are really the only civilization that had any kind of empire. They were it. They were the thing. So it's kind of fun, like as their empire's very much in decline by this time, it's really all the cavemen coming out of the woodwork, you know, the orcs and the Maknathal and things like that that are really kind of taking over, you know, the ruins of that former empire.
Decadent and degenerate.
Oh, that's another one. I think this was also down here. Shit, I missed it. Down here. I think this was also supposed to be something else too. That never became a thing.
Decadent and degenerate.
Okay, so yeah, we know about the clans. Yeah, we know about this. Shattered Hand, yep. We don't... Okay. Cool concept art.
All across Draenor, things like land, it flies. What's the experience? How do we actually...
Dark Portal, yeah, we know about that. We got that.
We decided to build...
Shadow Moon... Oh! That's another thing. Karabor City was supposed to be a major hub. Karabor fucking City was supposed to be a major hub, and that never happened. I remember that. I'm so sad. Karabor's so beautiful.
So we're gonna have a launch event before
Otherwise known as modern-day Black Temple.
The Dark Portal is gonna turn red out in Blasted Lands. I'm gonna send you about it. We're gonna let you play it, let you experience it. If you're for the Horde,
Wait.
through realizing something's up. We've got
Did they pass, or did I pass the, yeah, I passed it. Okay. Frostfire. Yeah, we got that.
And you're actually going to help early on. One of your first things.
Blade Spire was also supposed to be a major hub. Did Thrall ever reveal who he was to Duratan? I know Drakon knew, but I don't remember if Duratan... That's a good question. I don't know. Let me... Did... It was remained a secret. He hasn't had time to open up. So I guess he never knew, huh? Closest we come is a Grot telling Duratan that Thrall thinks of him like a Ooh. Damn, she said that? Damn. That's sad. R.I.P. Duratan. Yeah, Blade Spire was supposed to be a major hub right here.
There on the western side, you can see Blade Spire Fortress. You can kind of get that vibe. It's obviously a snowy, cold zone.
And it's right next to the garrison, too.
Concept art here. This is something we had early on. Structure, actually. Let's take a look.
Preview of Blade Spire? Or is it a preview of Frostfire? It's Frostfire. Okay. Yeah, this was Blade Spire. This was supposed to be the Horde Hub. Which technically it still exists in the game, it's just it never became a hub. I wonder if they canceled those major hubs just so we could focus more on the garrisons. I mean, I don't know. You would think a major hub would be the #1 priority, because where else are you gonna get all your... I don't know. Maybe they just wanted the garrisons to be just a private hub, you know? The one that would have everything that a major city hub would have, but just for you type of thing. I don't know.
And that is Frostfire Ridge. It's really exciting to be able to spin around.
Okay, yeah,
Let's get to the
we know Frostfire, but where's all the content we've never seen? Is that Caribor? No. Yes? No, no. Oh, the Shadow Moon Valley soundtrack. I think this is Caribor. You cannot change my mind when I say Shadow Moon Valley is the most beautiful zone in the entire game. Hands down. Soundtrack included. I'd love to get high in that zone. Girl. Ah! That's a vibe. Okay, yeah, we know all this. I just want to see all the content we didn't get.
Looks like on Draenor, what's really cool about this is you can see it's got the water there. That's the Zangar Sea coming up right against the base.
Okay, yeah, I don't... Oh yeah, they introduced the new character models. This was... Warlords was the first time they did the remodel of the races.
Gotta have a gnome dance.
Okay, garrisons.
Trade resources, stuff like that. But this is a full-on base. You're going to collect followers. You're going to send them on missions to do your dirty work.
What are we watching right now? This is BlizzCon 2013 panel introducing the Warlords of Draenor expansion pack, telling us everything we were gonna get in the expansion pack that they took out of the game or didn't even make because they wanted to work on something else. So this is basically all the content we would have gotten and never did.
You'll be able to customize your base. So you're going to be able to decide where do you want to put your armory, where do you want to put your barracks. You know,
okay,
do I
that
wanna have
happened.
a mage tower? Do I want to have an infirmary? Do I want to build the stables, or what profession buildings am I going to build? So you're going to have a lot of different plots, and you're going to be able to pick and choose. You're even going to be able to pick which zone you want your base to be in. So
oh, that's another one. The garrison could have been in any zone. They changed that too. Now it's just Alliance, Shadow Moon, Horde, Frostfire. You could have chosen which zone you wanted your garrison to be in. That's another thing they changed.
bunch of the
That
different zones out there.
sucks.
Right on. A lot of the zones throughout Draenor support the ability to build a garrison. So if you decide that you want your garrison to be in the hard zone of Gorgrond, then that's what you can decide. If you want it to be in the
God, imagine that.
Shadow Moon Valley, then that's what you can decide. You get to pick. And finally, you'll even get offline progression.
You
So
would have
while you
made your
send your
garrison in
followers off
Shadow
on
Moon Valley as
missions,
a horde
let's say
real.
you assemble a group of 10 followers and send them off on a raid. Well, that might take a week. And you might
Wait, what did he just say?
and send them off on a raid. Well, that might take a week. And
A
you might
week?
come back a week later and see what they got for you. Or you might send some guys off on a dungeon and see what they got for you the next day. Or you might send some guys off on some quests and see what they got for you in a couple of hours. And again, this is integrated directly into the world. This isn't, we use our seamless instancing technology so that, while it is customized to what you have built, you see it from anywhere in the world and you seamlessly enter it and exit it. There's never any loading screen, nothing like that. It's just out there in the world. And so what do you get for it? Why would I want a garrison? Why would I want to have followers? Well, for one thing, you can get epic gear for your character. That's kind of your core progression in World of Warcraft is making your character better, and these guys can contribute to it. In addition, you get a piece of land to call your own.
This was their original concept of WoW's first
You get unique benefits
player
from the
housing.
buildings in terms of, you know, what they do for your followers and the missions that they run. You get limited access to professions you don't even have. So, for example, you know, maybe you only have skinning and engineering on your character. Who would have that wacky combo? But let's say you wanted blacksmithing and something else, and you wanted blacksmithing and access to something in mining. You can do that. In fact, your base, you can even build a mine in your base, and that'll give you access to special mining nodes. You know, you'll get some extra mining nodes that you can go in there and mine every now and then. You can even assign an NPC that has a follower that has the mining skill to that mine, and they can do some of your dirty work for you. So Corey's going to talk a little bit more about exactly how
3 tiers that happen.
So your garrison grows when you start.
It is long, so I'm gonna kind of skip around if that's fine.
Expand and build. Pick which table over there. Choose the location. This is a key.
Yeah, we got those.
Missions to do that stuff. So it's really an active place. We're gonna really set it up so it feels like if you found a follower, you're gonna see that follower walking around in the garrison. You gave him a name, you'll see that name when he's walking around.
Yep. See, you used to be able to. You used to. Well, used to. They were gonna give it the ability to name the NPCs.
The concept of monuments and trophies. What this is
that's fucking broken. Trophies haven't been working for a long time.
Do some stuff with it. So we're thinking the idea behind this would be monuments could be tied to achievements. So let's say you got the achievement for exploring the entire world. You went into every single.
Did he just say thinking of? Wait, so they announced this and they haven't even started making it? Wait. No, there's no way. There's no way they would do that.
We could give you a monument per se that's like maybe like a big globe or something that looks really cool in your garrison that you can show off to other players. Kill a chimera or something and you.
No, we didn't fucking get that.
You kill a chimera or something and you get to bring back its head and mount it in the town hall in your garrison.
Never happened.
About the buildings. The buildings, as we mentioned earlier, there's lots of different buildings to pick from. They come in different sizes, and they all offer different unique bonuses. Things in your garrison specifically. They could also do things to your character outside the garrison. Maybe you get a buff when you're not there. And they also do things that make your followers better at the missions they're running. Like an example would maybe be like an infirmary. You can buy an infirmary, and it makes it so that the recovery time.
There was never an infirmary.
The mission is shortened. If that's something you
Are you
want,
telling me that all of
that,
this was just literally just concepts before they even made it a thing?
Really small, maybe like a little tent.
You really shouldn't be announcing stuff if it's not even made.
Increase the bonus as it gets bigger.
Because it sounds to me like we're thinking about making this. We're thinking about doing this. I had the idea to do this. We're planning on doing that. It's concepts. They hadn't even made it yet, and they're talking about this stuff. It's no wonder half of this didn't make it to the game. Because they were just yapping about it. It wasn't even made yet.
Now, right now, we're talking about doing 3 upgrades on the buildings. When you hit that 3rd upgrade, we wanted to really do something special for it. Let it feel like it's customized to you. And that's what specializations are. A specialization will probably feel similar to your talent tree. So imagine a building and it's got a couple different options on it. When it hits level 3, you can choose one specific option for every building. And those vary as well.
That never happened.
Maybe the infirmary gives you the option to resurrect out in the world like once per day. You know, someone from your infirmary shows up and reses you. Or maybe it's something specifically for your followers so they can be stronger on a mission. It's just another way that you can customize this place and make it feel like your own. Speaking of making it feel like your own, you got to be able to pick where this stuff goes. So maybe.
That would have been badass, being able to mount beasts, like, you slay like a trophy. Yeah, that I've heard that being said multiple times during Warlords, that was going to be a thing, and it never happened. Like, people were coping so hard for years, saying, oh, they said it was going to happen, when are we going to get it, when are we get it? It never happened. It never happened until we got player housing. Now it's not even the stuff we kill, it's just stuff we collect, you know?
Maybe you want to put your mage tower up on the hill in your garrison. Maybe you want to put your mage tower up near the front gate because you think that looks cooler. We're going to let
FYI, we get a mage tower, but we can't even customize it. It's just there as a still object.
you do that. You're going to get to pick where you want to put the buildings. This variety is really what gives us that customization.
We don't get full customization like they say we do. Did. Past tense.
Here's a look at one of the buildings. This is the inn. This inn in this shot is rank 2. The bonus that the inn is going to give you is the opportunity to find new followers. So the inn has a bar. Lots of people stop by the bar. I hear there's a few at BlizzCon here today also. So you can go to buy this building and you'll get a chance to find a new unique follower every day. This building also comes with a kitchen. That kitchen has a cooking NPC in it. Like Tom mentioned, there's some access to different profession stuff that you can get through the buildings. And of course it has specializations. The specializations on this building give you the chance to kind of hone in on what kind of follower you're looking for. Maybe you need a tank specifically for some of the missions you're running. You can pick that here, and the next day, you'll have a better chance of finding that type of follower.
Oh, they were giving us so much candy back then.
Upgrade. This is a huge undertaking. There's a massive
Never even got to try a piece
of
it.
That goes along with all the gameplay that's built into this system. Each
well,
building has
maybe like
unique art like this that upgrades over time with it, both the interiors and the exteriors.
Maybe just a tiny one, because goddamn.
Speaking of interiors, that's a look at the barracks from the outside, and this is the inside, so you can just kind of get a feel for the level of detail we have in this stuff.
It's cute. I kind of like it.
This is a look at a work in progress UI of how we would see people interacting with the garrison. So on the left there, you can see.
Okay, so they did make it. They just didn't finish it. Oh, so there did used to be an infirmary. They must have taken that out.
Pay the currency cost that it'll be to build.
Well, then again, WoW doesn't even use first aid anymore. You guys remember? You remember back when first aid used to be a profession? Man, I kind of miss that.
This is a video.
Because otherwise, why the fuck am I collecting all this cloth for? Wow. That is so lousy. There's your tier 1 garrison. Used to be. That's weird. So it used to be in a completely different location. You see, it's right next to Karabor City. It's not over by the west end of Shadowmoon Valley like it is right now. This is right next to Karabor on the east side. So it wasn't even in the same location. They moved it. Tier 2. So the garrison would have been right next to the major city. Damn. Low-key, it's a vibe. I like this a lot. It reminds me of Arathi Highlands a little bit. That's the tier 1 garrison. The wooden one was. The half-assed stone one was second. I think this is third.
So before you ask, yes, there is separate art for Alliance and Horde. Horde will get their own complete unique set of buildings and have their own look. So once you have your garrison, you need to fill it with followers. Lots of ways to get followers throughout the world. You can find
Dude, this expansion pack is so different compared to what they said it was going to be. A lot of the changes aren't bad. I kind of like the garrisons we have now a little bit, but the fact that we know it could have been so much more is a little disappointing, you know?
What you do with
like, I appreciate it because it was the first thing I started with, and it was already so much for me to take in. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love it. I love everything. But then after learning what could have been, I'm like, damn.
Followers is you send them on missions. We have a wide variety of missions they can be sent on. When they run the missions, they earn experience points to help them level up. So they're going to level from 90 to 100, just like you are. Once they max out, you can keep increasing their strength, though, by equipping them with gear, which gives them higher item level. So it doesn't just end when a guy hits 100, he can keep going by increasing his item level after that.
I think they left that in.
What a new concept.
Yeah, concept. What did I just say about concept?
These are the kind of things that you're going to use when you send a follower out on a mission. You'll try to match up your abilities and traits with the things that are on that mission so they can have an advantage. And of course, they also come with quality. So anyone that's used to the pet system kind of understands that concept where you can find a common, you can find a rare, you can find an epic. Same concept here. And of course, you could customize them with names. So if you want to name your guy Johnny McCool, you can name him Johnny McCool, and that's what he'll be like in the game. Anyone that comes to your garrison will see that guy named that. So this is a look at another mock-up UI of what it would look like.
I get it. Cat is my favorite X-Pack, even though it gets a lot of hate as well. It was the first X-Pack that I lifted. I would definitely never recommend Cataclysm to first-time players, just because of how complex it is, and it's a lot of old world mixed in with new, rather than just one new thing. So plus there's a lot of history to it. It's very complex, so it'd be a little difficult for somebody to understand at first, but it is still very good. Also, yeah, it was very difficult as well, so probably wouldn't recommend it for that reason too. Oh my god, the old Worgen model. I forgot they used to look different.
Like to have a follower. This player is really lucky because he has Oprah Winfrey in his list over there. It's really rad.
Bro's name is Hamfist Face Wrecker. What a name. Oh my god, they named all their characters. Goblin Freeman. Grover Cleveland. Wow. Oprah Windfury. Chakra Khan. You mad, bro? That's funny. I won't lie. This one's funny. You mad, bro? Charles Ferguson. Leroy Jenkins, my boy. Who could ever forget the GOAT himself? Leroy Jenkins.
I think this guy just became a new major world NPC.
So over on the right there, you can see his abilities. You can see some of the gear he's equipped with.
That's funny. I'm kind of upset they didn't let us name the NPCs. That would have been really funny.
Follower. So you send these guys on missions. There's going to be a pretty wide variety of missions you can do. Tom mentioned earlier you could maybe send them on a raid. You could send them to a dungeon. Send them on quests. That's all going to be up to you. And what you do is you mix those missions with followers that have the right traits and abilities. It's kind of like a mini game in its own way to match up the right guys so that they're successful on those missions. We also have this concept of specialized missions, and these are unlocked by buildings. So let's use the infirmary as another example. When you buy and place an infirmary, that then gives you the...
You didn't like the Dragon Soul raid and Kata killing Deathwing was a little underwhelming? Yeah. Considering how much damage he did to the entire world and how difficult his fucking ass battle was, the actual battle itself did feel just a little underwhelming, I meant. I get that too, yeah. I would say the major difference in endings between Kata and Warlords, for example, Kata felt like, okay, the biggest enemy Azeroth has ever seen, destroyed half the fucking planet, wiped many places off the fucking map, you know, gonna kill everybody, world domination type shit, you know? And then just like that, he's taken down after just a couple hits. You know, people probably got used to him after a while. It was easier to kill. You just gotta kill one hand, kill two hands, and then kill his head. Done. And happy ending. I don't, personally, as a story writer myself, I hate happy endings. Genuinely. There's happy things that can happen. But I hate happily ever afters. I hate that shit. And I'm not gonna lie, Kata kind of had that going on. Like, it's like, oh, all the threat is gone. We're free. We're gonna be happy. Everything's gonna be great. This type of thing. Whereas in Warlords, you kill Archimon. Victory, yay, we did it, we did it. But hold on. Khadgar's saucy. He says, wait a minute. This ain't over. I know it's not. Something real big is coming and it's gonna be bad. That build-up that we know something really bad is gonna happen, even though we just had what we thought was a victory. That suspense is what I want. That making me feel ill after thinking that we're gonna be okay. That's a good ending, you know? That's what I really liked about it. It was not underwhelming at all. It was a really difficult boss fight. Even though there wasn't so many mechanics, it was still kind of a hard kill, you know? You take him down, and at first you're like, holy shit, we did it? Question mark. We did it? Question mark. No, he didn't. You think you do, but you don't. In the famous words of Rick Grimes. So, Cat is not bad. It's just the ending was a little underwhelming.
Option to run rescue missions. And rescue missions are very unique. Only people with infirmaries can run them, and they'll have different bonuses from other missions. So another way that the buildings that you choose help customize what your garrison is like. Here's a look at the mission screen. So on the left is your followers, on the top is the party, and so you just drag your followers into those slots, and then as you do that, you can see the bonuses that they'll earn on those missions.
Whoa, you still look so different.
And like I mentioned earlier, this works completely offline. So a mission could take hours, it could take days. You know, it all just depends on which one you pick to do. But that's not the only feature. There are many, many more, and we're going to have Greg talk to you about some of those.
All right, BlizzCon, you still with us? I know it's a lot of information. We've got a lot more to go. It'll take about 2.5 more hours, and we'll be good. Boost to 90.
Yo, skip
Look at this work. You
this.
saw one of your characters to level 9. What this means is you earn it once, and it's account-wide, and you can use it on any of your characters.
Wait a minute. What?
Collections. Currently, we have pets and mounts that are collected. What this means is you earn it once, and it's account-wide, and you can use it on any of your characters.
Wait. You couldn't use the same mount on a different character? Oh, you're welcome. Your ears have been blessed. Are you telling me you couldn't use the same mount on a different character?
Cross-realm and things like that. So, what are we going to add to pets and mounts? We're going to add...
No way those things didn't exist before Warlords. Seriously? Mounts used to be character specific. What the fuck? Dude, that must suck. Imagine. Yeesh.
So, this is your new heirloom UI.
What? It used to...
Anything you want is stored here. All of the icons that are grayed out.
Wait a minute.
With the pet journal, we'll give you information about where to acquire it, so you don't have to.
Oh yeah, it did used to look different, didn't it?
A rare drop or something like that. All the information is there. And again, this is cross-realm on any character, so you don't have to worry. Who had my heirloom? Was it that one dude? I can't find it. Everything's here when you need it.
Damn.
We know it's time. You've earned.
Yeah, so if you wanted Invincible on all your tunes, you would have to farm it on each tune. Fuck that. Kill me instead.
It.
Oh, God.
It's really
That's a nightmare. Dude, I bet everyone was so relieved when they finally fixed that. But at the same time, imagine all the people that were like, oh my God, I wasted 10 fucking years of my life farming this goddamn horse for all of my characters just for them to pull it. Imagine being that person. The anger is felt.
And then this is the toy box. It works similarly. You can see a couple of the toys up at the top are starred. We've also added a
like I could feel
journal.
so much relief, but at the same time so much anger from this update.
It also has starred favorites.
I wasted so much time on this shit.
Favorite mount. Your
Sortable.
bags are
You
still a
couldn't
mess,
sort your
even with all the
bags
heirlooms
either.
and
What
toys
the
taken out of it.
fuck?
So what can we do about that? We don't think
Goddamn
big bags
squeaky
is the answer. It takes
chair.
forever to find stuff in it as it is. Instead, we're just trying to organize it a little better. These are a lot of requests we've gotten over the years, and we're finally able to deliver on some of it. So there's a lot of information on this screen. The first thing is you can assign each bag a particular type of inventory. So you can say, I only want consumables to fill up this bag to help you find your stuff better.
Did they change that later?
Secondly,
Because
you'll
I
see
don't
the, white icons
remember this
indicate
being in the
new
current
items that have
WoW.
gone into your bag since your
Well,
last
then again, I
opening,
have
so you can find that new
LVY,
stuff
so.
pretty easily. And then we also highlight
You can only
the,
sort if you had
different
an add-on. Damn.
quality of the items. You can see some of the rare and epic items have their appropriate blue or purple outlines around them. And then finally, the bag that has all the gold icons shows you quickly at a glance.
Weirdly enough, I play Classic, you know, like, not in its entirety, because I have a life. I have a life, so I have not played Classic in its entirety. That was a joke. But I've gotten up to about maybe level 60 before on a, I don't know if exactly 60, close to 60 on a tune before. Ending at fucking English. I can't English today. Ending at Cataclysm. And I don't remember a lot of these features. Did they get rid of those in the, not vanilla, obviously. I was a fucking baby back then, but like, shit, I'm brain fogging again. Just watch the video. Let's just watch the video. You know what I mean? Basically, I'm just saying I don't remember a lot of this stuff when playing Classic.
And in addition, we're not going to put quest items in your bags at all.
What? Are you shitting me right now? Well, that's another piece of candy they took away from us.
We'll just store these items right on the quest UI so you can see them. If there's a clickable item, it'll be there. And again, hopefully, you know, we may give you bags that are
spoiler
slightly
alert,
larger, but
they
overall,
put it
it should be a much
both
better
in the
experience. More
UI
time
and in
killing orcs, less time
inventory.
organizing stuff.
He didn't mean that, orcs. It wasn't personal.
The bad orcs. And then finally, we're just going to allow you to craft directly from your bank.
What the fuck?
So if you have resources there, you can just access them right away without so much mailing. We're also going to increase the stack size on a lot of these things up to 100, so you'll get a little bit more of your bag space back.
What the?
What is the adventure guide? Now, I know all of you out there are masters of World of Warcraft. You never have any questions about where to go or what to do next. But we know that's not true of everyone out there. So the adventure guide is really designed, particularly when a new patch comes out with new content, and you're like, am I supposed to finish doing the current stuff, or am I supposed to jump right away? Blizzard, tell me what to do.
Back in my day, your mounts took up a bag slot? What the fuck? Lord have mercy. Who the hell would want to mount collect then?
So the adventure guide is a path to gear upgrades. It shows you the new content.
Like, genuinely? Most people that played... I'm not saying every, just a good majority of people who played Classic / Vanilla back in the day are adults, right? Genuinely speaking, as a new adult, how the fuck did any of you manage time between this fucking game and life? Genuinely. Because holy hell, this game used to take up so much time. Retail, that's why I love retail much more now, is because they made it easier and faster. Like, how the fuck did you have time for this game and life? That's insane to me. I still don't understand that.
That's out and what might be appropriate to you. And most importantly, it's customized for your character individually.
It took months for people to get to max level. Girl, I joined in Warlords of Draenor, and it took me 2 years to get from level 1 to 100. 2.5 years, actually. Well, no, I'm lying. It was 2 years. 2 years. I finally reached max level by the time Warlords was pretty much over with. I got a character boost by buying the next expansion pack, by buying Legion. But before that, it took me 2 years to max out my first character. And mind you, I was a little fetus rat back then. I was like, I don't know, 9 years old maybe? Probably 10. I couldn't play this game for shit because I was bad at it. I didn't even know what item level was. I would just pick up any armor I saw and put it on. I wasn't too bright. I'm still not too bright, but back then I especially wasn't. Dude. Jeez. He didn't. Heirlooms would give us XP bonuses. Don't they still do that, or did they get rid of that? I could never afford heirlooms back then. That's another thing. It used to be so hard to get money.
Plays a lot of PvP. So if you can imagine, when the Siege of Orgrimmar patch came out, we would tell them, hey, Deepwind Gorge is out. That's something you want to try. And we noticed that you're rank 7 in the Brawlers Guild, so maybe you want to go to rank 8.
What the fuck? Kirosh is a jerk. Take him down. Be sure to watch out for his shark cannon technology. It's raining sharks. What the fuck?
Along the bottom, we
Kirosh
also show you
is a
based on your
jerk.
current gear, the kind of raid content
That's my new
you're
vocal
ready for.
stem.
And then this is a more PvE-focused player. One of the things to point out is that we mentioned the Sky Golem specifically because we know you're an engineer. So we can customize all of this for your character. If you haven't played it,
I forgot about the Sky Golem mount. I still don't have that one.
Level 100 talents.
The old talent tree. I remember this one.
We can't count, so we gave them 25
Damn.
levels early.
You could only get talents every 5 levels back in the day. I remember
You can go
that.
play
And only after level
Frostfire or Shadow
15.
Moon today at BlizzCon.
Damn. Anybody else remember the clause of, what's it called? Shervilla? I think something? Talent for druids?
These are fairly
I kind of
early
miss
designs,
that.
but,
They should bring it back one
you
day.
know, they're not just standard. We're taking them seriously, so feedback is appreciated. One thing to note is we're going to start splitting
If
out
not
the
as a
tooltips
talent, then at
like
least as
talents
an
a little more by
appearance.
spec. Particularly,
That was a
classes
cool-ass
like
druid
and
appearance.
priest have these pretty wordy tooltips that say, if you're shadow, it really does this. If you're holy, it really does
We said
this.
druid
So
at the same time.
just
What
adding
the
that as a
fuck?
caveat, because some of the tooltips you'll see at BlizzCon are quite long.
Back then, we couldn't buy heirlooms with gold. You had to farm justice points
All right. Ian will
and
now
valor
talk to you
points from
about
doing
our
dungeons
incredible
raids. What the hell? Honestly, that sounds a little easier.
A new expansion without some new dungeon and raid content, so of course we've got some of that. We're really happy with the overall amount of multiplayer group content that was in Mists of Pandaria. Though we've heard you guys, we could probably have used some more patch dungeons. Something we're still thinking about looking to do. Hear you on that one. Well, let's jump right into this. So dungeons. We're going to have 7 new dungeons available at launch in Warlords of Draenor. 4 of these will be available as you level up. 3 exclusively at max
How many of
level.
those 7 did we
And
get?
You may see that last bullet point there. So we always look to see, you know, if it makes sense with the story that we're telling, where the expansion's going as a whole. It's great to have this opportunity to revisit old favorites, old classic dungeons, update them the way we've done with places like Dead Mines or Scalamans or Scarlet Monastery. And given the central importance of the Blackrock clan to the Iron Horde and their plans, this felt like a great time to revisit Upper Blackrock Spire. So that's going to be overhauled, and it will be a new dungeon available at level up as well as max level. And you can see what's going on there. There are some interesting things.
The only shit part was that you had a cap of how much you could earn a week, so it did take a while to get enough Justice Valor points to get a full set, let alone a full set of all the heirlooms. Well, at least you were able to reach a cap, you know? Like with the gold, it's like there is no cap, and it's very difficult to get. Whereas, even though there is a cap on that one, at least you can get it, you know? And especially if you don't know how to do professions very well, or you don't do them at all. Like, I think back in the day, wasn't it professions was the #1 moneymaker in the game?
We're going to have normal, heroic, and challenge difficulties of all these dungeons. One slight difference between this and Mists of Pandaria is that we will have normal versions of the max level dungeons to really flesh out a full tier of itemization and progression to help you get ready for some maybe more challenging heroic dungeons. So between these max level normal dungeons and scenarios, you can be prepared. And we're happy with how challenge modes have worked out in Mists, so we're continuing to do them to provide some really challenging multiplayer group content for people who want to push themselves in dungeons. So, one dungeon, let's take a close look at this. The kind of what's cross action and neatly guild.
Okay, we got this one.
On the right, you can.
Yeah, we got this one. We literally just ran this one a few minutes ago.
Crater to rest, but also to be protected from the Burning Legion.
Blackrock Foundry, we got that. Ockenden, we got that. Arakoa Spires? I'm assuming they're talking about Skyreach. They probably renamed it, right? Because what the fuck is Arakoa Spires? If it's not Skyreach. I'm assuming they just renamed it. Shadowmoon Burial Grounds, we got that. Iron Barracks, which I think is actually Iron Docks now. Unless, I don't know. They clearly changed some stuff.
Thirst for Draenei's souls. And maybe, the followers of a fellow named Gul'dan might have some interest in a place like that. We'll have to see. The Arakoa Spires, looking down upon the land and the spires of Iraq. These are not the hunched, twisted Arakoa that
Spires of Iraq. I didn't say Iraq. He said Iraq.
That has a high civilization, and you will be seeing what they're up to there.
That's kind of funny.
In Shadowmoon Valley, the Shadowmoon clan, Ner'zhul, beneath the earth, is working and, dabbling with dark powers in the Shadowmoon Burial Grounds as he slips further into his descent into darkness. Eric Roth, of course, of Pandaria release.
Highmaul, Blackrock. Yeah, that's another one. That's another thing about Warlords people didn't like. Not enough raids. Literally the only 3 raids in the entire expansion pack we got was Highmaul, Blackrock Foundry, and Hellfire Citadel. That's it. That was the only ones we got. Which, by the way, fantastic raids. Every one of them. I love those raids a lot. Every one of them did it right. Fantastic raids. It's really, really a shame that there wasn't more. Because they did a fantastic job with them. In my opinion, at least.
Where we had Mogushon Vaults initially, and then Heart of Fear and Terrace of Endless Spring afterwards. So we're kind of looking to mirror that going forward into Warlords. There are going to be 2 new raid zones available. The one right at the outset is going to be the Ogre raid at Highmaul in Nagrand. This is a bit of that high Ogre civilization that we talked about earlier. This is going to be a 6-boss raid, and we'll kind of whet your appetite for the things that are to come.
Whet my appetite, bitch. You made me regurgitate my appetite. Jesus Christ. Giving us all this candy just to say, actually, we're going to take it back.
Or for which the Blackrock clan gets its name, as it's forged into weapons and armor and war machines that are assembled and sent off to the front lines to wreak havoc upon Draenei and eventually Azeroth. And Warlord...
If I remember correctly, the gap for the points back in Kata was 1,000 a week. Each heirloom was around 12 to 100, or 1,200 to 12... fuck! English! 2,500. Don't remember exactly. That's still a lot. Like, if you were consistent with raids and dungeons that week, you could get about an heirloom in a week. Or, sorry, an heirloom every other week. Maybe. Depending on how chronically you play the game.
Blackhand, commands this from the interior of the Crucible, and you need to go in there, work your way through this 10-boss raid, and put a stop to his plans. We'll be talking a bit more about this raid at...
Maybe even every 3 weeks,
And of course, we'll see the return of world bosses.
World bosses, I'm glad this is a feature that they emphasized in Draenor because it became one of my favorite features in future games.
Model of, Shav Anger, Ordos, Nalak, etc.
Like, it was already there before, but they, like, seriously enhanced it. And it kept getting better every expansion pack.
Feeling of, 30, possible.
Well,
flying
minus
through the air
Shadowlands.
as
What? Who
something,
said that?
necessarily,
Shadowlands? Never heard of her?
in
Wait,
addition to
that's not it.
some of the specific content that we're releasing.
Shadowlands.
Taking a moment to reflect upon our philosophy and how we're approaching the design of our raids. So, any Flex Raiders in the house?
What the fuck is flex rating? Am I stupid?
To see how flexible rating has worked out so far in patch 5.4 and how it's been embraced in Siege of Orgrimmar. I think that it really, flexible rating offers a solution to a lot of the social problems that often are one of the downsides of group raiding. Anytime there's a mismatch between the number of people on hand that want to raid and the fixed size of raid content. If you have 8 people looking to do a 10-player raid, well, you're going to have 8 pretty unhappy people. If you have 12 people looking to do a 10-player raid, well, then you have to deal with who sits on the bench, maybe no one wants to. That's not very much fun either. And one of the great things about the flexible structure is the ability to come and go. If you don't have to feel guilty if you miss a raid, or if someone logs on in the middle of the night, they can hop right in. You just keep going. And it's really opening an experience that we think
Wait.
Come and go if you don't have to. And one of the great things, then you have to deal with who sits on the bench, maybe no one wants to. That's not very much fun either.
I'm sorry, I keep looping. I'm trying to process this.
Content. If you have 8 people looking to do a 10-player raid, well, you're going to have 8 pretty unhappy people. If you have 12 people looking to do a 10-player raid, well, then you have to deal with who sits on the bench, maybe no one wants to. That's not very much fun either. And one of the great things about the flexible structure is the ability to come and go. If you don't have to feel guilty if you miss a raid, or if someone logs on in the middle of the night, they can hop right in. You just keep going. And it's really opening an experience that we think of as a core part of the multiplayer role-playing
I
experience.
think I understand what he's saying, but it's kind of a confusing explanation.
Expansions, we've supported a parallel 10 and 25 player structure. From Wrath of the Lich King onward, and then in Cataclysm, we're really put efforts to make them truly equal in terms of difficulty and reward. But there have been tensions throughout that system that we've experienced, and trying to reward them equally, trying to keep the difficulty equal, while trying to recognize the logistical difficulties of using a 25-player roster. I remember when we were people.
Okay, there wasn't much difference to rating, so I'm gonna skip ahead. That's fine.
Flexibly from 10 to 25, we'll have a heroic mode that scales flexibly from 10 to 25. And for those seeking the ultimate rating challenge, we have mythic difficulty at a fixed 20-player raid size.
Okay. I don't really do PvP at all, so I wouldn't know any differences.
To introduce to start with, what is this world PvP zone you speak of?
One more unpopular opinion. And to add to my previous content where I just said I don't really do PvP, not entirely true. I used to do it a lot in Warlords, and it was because I really liked Ashran. Honest opinion, I liked Ashran. I really did. Back in the day, I ate that shit up. It was easy for me. I knew what to do. And it wasn't strictly PvP, It was like PvE and PvP. It was like goals within the map plus opposing team, I enjoyed Ashran a lot because it wasn't strictly PvP. I hate strictly PvP. I don't know why people didn't like it so much. Honestly, that's the one thing I don't understand why everyone hated it. Like, I'll see people in trade chat just randomly bringing up, ugh, Ashran, what a disgusting piece of garbage that was. I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad, was it? Oh, flex raid, basically, before that was a thing, you had to have either 10 or 25 people in a raid. Specifically 10 or 25, you mean? Okay. I got it. With flex raid, the difficulty depended on how much people went into the raid, so you could do a raid with 14 people. Got it. Okay. I know what that is. I guess I never heard that term before. Makes sense.
Well, we're creating a place. It's one of those islands that you guys referenced that was off the coast. It's off the eastern coast of
But yeah,
Somalia.
I like the
It's called
Ashran
Ashran.
PvP
And
map.
it is a staging area near the Dark Portal that both the Horde and Alliance want to control.
It was
This
the first time I was actually able to buy
faction
myself
bases on
PvP
it,
gear.
and a variety of different hotspots. There are a lot
Not
of
even in
different points of
modern WoW I
interest
do
that
that.
Factions are going to want to control. But really, more than anything else, what separates this from previous PvP world zones that we've done is that it is a PvP sandbox that is persistent and continues on all the time. It isn't like Wintergrass, which really felt like a kind of an instance battleground because it had that start and finish. This is really going to be more like.
Oh, he's talking about the not the battleground. I like the battleground. He's talking about the what's it called? The actual map itself. You know, the bi-faction, one side alliance, one side horde, hub, plus the little PvP section in between it. You know, that's what he's talking about. Okay.
Isle of PvP, and that all the objectives
By
that are
faction.
there
I don't even
are
know if
all
that's a real word. I
PvP
just made that up.
oriented, but you're kind of free to
Cross
go in there
faction.
and
I
do
don't
whatever
know.
it is that you want
I
to
don't know what the
do.
right term is for that.
It's a lot like what you might think of as the original Alterac Valley. I don't know if there are many people here that played the original AV. But, you know, there was a day when, you know, you used to queue up for AV, maybe get in the battleground, let's say in the morning. You could leave the battleground sometime to go to work or go to school.
What the
And
fuck?
by the end of the day, you come back and you actually jump right back into the same battleground because these things lasted sometimes 24, 48 hours.
What the fuck?
So
Wait, that kind of
that's
sounds
really what
fun.
this zone is all about. This is a persistent war in this zone that's going to swing back and forth as time goes on. You can come and go whenever it is that you want and take part. There are a lot of different objectives in the zone, so you'll be able to, you know,
That sounds
pick
both
out whatever
awful
it
and
is that you
amazing
wanna
at the
do.
same
Do you wanna
time.
take over the mine to, you know, contribute more supplies to your team, or do you want to try to build a siege vehicle to take out the enemy base? You know, whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe take over a tower, etc. And finally, this will use our cross-realm technology, right? Because obviously, I'm guessing maybe some of you play on a realm that doesn't have the best Horde versus Alliance faction population balance. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pairing up realms so that when you go into this zone, and you know you'll fly into this zone seamlessly, just like you do with cross-realm zones, you will be paired up with other realms that have the opposite problem that your realm has. So,
I thought they added that
really
after
what we're going
Warlords.
to be able to do is to create a faction balance using the cross-realm tech that is at least far, far better than what it is on your home realm today. And you guys will, you know, duke it out over that territory. And then if the faction balance changes for whatever reason, we can at any time pair up different realms. So there it is off the coast of Tanan Jungle.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we get this. We get this now. Can we see the other islands that was never announced? What?
To build and commandeer siege vehicles. Some of these are vehicles that you might build over the course of multiple days, right?
What the fuck? That never
One
happened.
day and continue your progress on the next day, and then eventually build your machine of mighty destruction and have a rampage on your enemies for a while. You'll be able to reduce the enemy base to rubble, and the battle will rage on.
What the fuck? I wish they brought that in the game.
Siege vehicles that you'll get to use. You'll also be able to commandeer some of the Iron Horde siege vehicles that are around. You know, the Iron Horde has had a presence here also, so you'll get a mix of different stuff. We have things like the Incinerator. We have the Blade Mortar that shoots this, you know, giant net full of old weapons at your opponent, so it just kind of flays them with shrapnel. Good times. So next up, we have our UI improvements. We have a lot of different things that we're going to try to do to the UI to just make the PvP experience cleaner, a little easier to follow, all that kind of stuff. We have our objective, see how much progress.
Oh, that's right. You couldn't really track quests without add-ons back then, huh?
You're making toward capturing a point of interest, like dead of interest, be able to see how the actually.
Okay, yeah. We got that part.
An ability to look at it and see, you know, okay, how am I doing? And
Okay.
it could
They never once talked about those islands. At least I might have missed it. I want to go back to those islands because that was one of the biggest things that we never got to see.
This is of the planet that once was.
7 new zones.
As a result of Kairos Dormu and his bias, it'd be so shape on
Noisy ass crowd, Jesus.
not where you're meeting.
Oh wait, hold on.
Those came together.
Oh no, he's just talking about comparison with Outland.
For the we took
Yeah.
scale portion first the way one
More different at any given time. The only kind of take
as another patch.
I'll try and go through these. Really
Okay. It must have been a different one. Give me just a second. It could have been a different. You know what? It might have been the next patch. Update. Let me try to find that. Warlords patch. Panel maybe? Because there was definitely another one where they talked about new features coming to the game. Just a second while I, first of all, save this. I'm gonna link that video in the Discord later in case anyone wants to watch the full thing. Of Draenor, next patch, features. You know what? Even better. Even better. There's a video somebody made of all the content that was cut. Let's watch this instead real quick. We're just gonna skim. Oh shit. It's loud as hell. Yeah, we're just gonna skim through it. If we didn't have head-ons, we'd actually have to read the quest text to figure out where to go. Yeah, I remember that. I couldn't do that. I'm not good at following directions at all. I'm not very good at reading directions especially, so I had to have add-ons when playing Classic.
Going to end up defending Karabor and saving it from the Iron Horde, and that's going to be your main city. Karabor is what you may have known as Black Temple in Outland. So that's actually going to be your city as the Alliance for the expansion.
Yeah, about that.
Actually uses the Alliance faction hub. It was used in a scenario at the end of the Shadow Moon Valley questline, and then again for a part of the legendary ring quest chain, and that's about it.
For the Horde, you are going to you're going to travel to Frostfire Ridge, and in Frostfire Ridge, you're going to help the Frost Wolves fight against the ogres that are there. And you're going to
Discord name's great. Maybe start reading it. Honestly, I can't. That's. I couldn't think of a better name. I genuinely couldn't. A friend in high school made that up randomly. I thought it was the funniest shit ever, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'll borrow that until I think of a better name." It's kind of iconic.
Quest chains, and pretty early on too, but you don't ever use Bladespire as a faction hub, even though it seems to be completely set up for it, and is way bigger than it needs to be for a small quest chain.
Oh yeah, so in the corner, you've got at the very bottom left down there, that's a mysterious ogre continent.
The panel goes on to explain the lore behind the continent. Suffice to say, we never went there, and there was no indications in any of Warlords of Draenor that we would, other than some talk and interviews saying that they would like to go there someday, maybe.
You know what people are saying? There's a rumor that you remember that that starter zone, the new one they added in a couple years back, where you're trapped, you crash land on an island and there's a bunch of ogres and shit. There was rumors people said that that island was the place we were supposed to go to. That the missing content island from Draenor, because it's that like all the buildings look the same. Like people are saying at least if it's not in Draenor, geographically it's close. Or not Draenor, but like you get it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense at all because it doesn't. Draenor's a different planet. That doesn't make, I don't know. There was a rumor about that a while ago. I could see why the similarity is there, but, or at the very least, maybe they just kind of took this idea and made it into something else. Yeah, Exile's Reach, that's the one. I forgot Draenor's a different planet. I'm like, yeah, that's why that rumor didn't make a lot of sense. Because you were on a ship in Azeroth, and then you end up crash landing on this island, which possibly could have just been part of the people, or yeah, part of the group of people trying to escape Draenor when it was falling apart, and they just ended up on this random island. I don't know.
Oh, well, we've got Farallon. That's TBD. You guys will explore that later on. So what you knew as Netherstorm at this time was Farallon, and you'll be adventuring there in a patch, but it's not there for the launch of Warlords of Draenor.
Farallon was never actually added in a future patch. And
Nope.
They even removed the island from the UI map in game, but not the physical map.
Ah, they
Farallon
kept
seems to
it
be cut late
in.
development, as before patch 6.1, you could actually go to the removed island of Farallon in-game if you had a way to get past the fatigue zone without dying. And
What the
fatigue zone in the area
fuck?
where Farallon was supposed to be is still budgeted in the map, as you can go for a very long time over the sea before you hit the fatigue zone. In the PTR for patch 6.2, they had a shipyard mission which had the flavor text of going into Farallon in order to grab the Pearl of Farallon, which was supposed to be used in order to craft the legendary ring, which was scrapped in the PTR process, and instead you just did other things to craft the ring.
A little anecdote on that, actually, is that we originally concepted this zone as a purple desert.
Yep.
But it wasn't really working for us.
Turned out everyone that saw it kept saying, "Why is that snow purple?"
And why are the
Really weird.
frost wolves in a purple desert?
It's called lighting and
Early on in the
colors.
game, they had planned on Frostfire
It's a
Ridge
tone.
being
If
purple
it's-
for some reason.
Wait, hold on. I thought they were just joking around. Did they actually mean to make it purple?
We're told that it was kind of dumb, and then Frostfire Ridge being purple.
Sometimes we're dumb.
Early on in the game, they had planned on Frostfire Ridge being purple for some reason.
What the
We're told that
fuck?
it was kind of dumb, and then kind of agreed and changed it to snow.
Speaking of Shatrath, this is a
Yeah, why would it be purple?
of what it looks like on Draenor. What's really
Gotta head to sleep. Gotta get up in 5.5 hours for work. Have a great rest of your stream. I'll catch you in the next one. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, sub runs out tomorrow, so no WoW for a little while. But I will be doing a catch-up stream on the, I said it again, recap stream, in maybe middle-ish in February. And then we're gonna do a big midnight binge when it comes out. But yeah, regular schedule Oblivion for the rest of the week, and I'll think of something else to do for next week. But yeah, I might watch the rest of this and then maybe get off. Oh yeah, I gotta get off after this video because it is getting late. I figured, why not? One more WoW stream for a while. Might as well go a little bit late. Fuck it. But tomorrow I'll be on much earlier, and I'll be getting off much earlier. So yeah, thank you for hanging out. I'll see you later, Zero. I might make this into a separate video if you wanted to watch the rest. So yeah, probably 5 a.m. for you. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that late. I'm so invested in this. I love these WoW discussions. You know, I fucking love them. I'd love to keep doing stuff like this because there's the amount of content there is in this game is endless. I could yap about this game for days, literally. So yeah, I love doing this. I'd like to keep doing it more eventually.
cool about this is you can see it's got the water there. That's the Zangar Sea coming up right against the edge. Zangar Marsh isn't fully there yet, so it's really cool to see this place, but just in a different time.
Yeah, it's about a few minutes left. We'll just watch this and I'll get off.
And interviews at BlizzCon, Whenever they bring up Shattrath, they never mention a raid associated to it, which means the planned Shattrath raid was scrapped really early in development.
Can't wait for the ketchup stream. Eat shit. The ketchup stream.
As
God.
for the BlizzCon panel,
At
they-
this point, that's what I'm gonna call it. That's what I'm gonna call it. When I'm gonna write that down.
we're still talking about Fairlawn as if it was going to come out.
Chill stream,
Next,
good. I
we
love
have a
that.
bunch of
Chill
features
streams
that
are
were
always
planned for
good.
Garrisons that were never implemented.
You're even going to be able to pick which zone you want your base to be in.
The
So a
great
bunch of
ketchup
different
stream.
zones out there. Right on. A lot of the zones throughout Draenor support the ability to build a garrison. So if you decide that you want your garrison to be in the hard zone of Gorgron, then that's what you can decide. If you want it to be in the Adelic Shadowmoon Valley, then that's what you can decide.
That doesn't happen.
Maybe at a later point, you've had this garrison in this zone for a few months. You can up and decide to move it to a different place just because you think that's cooler.
In the live version of the game, you were not able to pick which zone you could put your garrison in, and instead only had Frostfire Ridge for Horde or Shadowmoon Valley for Alliance.
Same concept with trophies. Maybe you kill a rare mob out in Draenor somewhere. You kill a chimera or something, and you get to bring back its head and mount it in the town hall in your garrison.
They did allow you to hang up archaeology items, but no.
They
rare
did?
mobs you could
Wait. Since when?
Garrison.
They did allow you to hang up archaeology items, but no rare mobs you killed out in the world in the way they described in the clip.
And
I
of
didn't even
course,
know you could hang up archaeology items. What the hell?
you customize them with names. So if you want to
I'm just sitting here not knowing what to say because I never played this game. It's okay, honestly. I don't expect that. I like introducing people to this kind of thing. I remember the first time I ever got introduced to this game. Literally, it was just a Minecraft streamer, a YouTuber I used to watch. He would sometimes he would just randomly do games for I can't English right now. He would do videos for other games randomly, and one day he randomly did a WoW video, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And him just literally walking around, strolling around through Orgrimmar for a few minutes, just yapping about the game, and then going to Frostfire Ridge and just doing a couple quests. I'm like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to play it. Like, low-key, like, if I can somehow, like, spark that kind of excitement in somebody, like the way that did to me all those years ago, little me, bundled up on my iPod Touch, watching YouTube videos of this random loud-ass Minecraft YouTuber talking about World of Warcraft, like, that excitement that I had back then, asking my mom to pay for my WoW subscription so I could play. Like, I could make somebody else feel like that eventually. Like, that would complete me. Because that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Low-key, this game has saved me from a dark fucking place growing up. Like, this game, even though it does have a lot of, like, issues, what doesn't, you know? What in this world doesn't have issues? This is my favorite game, hands down. I love it. I love sharing this stuff. So, even if you're just chilling, not even know what the fuck it's about, I'll explain it. Girly pop, that's what I'm here for. I like explaining shit.
name your guy Johnny McCool. You can name him Johnny McCool, and that's what he'll be like in the game. Anyone that comes to your garrison will see that guy named that. You gave him a name, you'll see that name when he's walking around in there. We really want it to feel like it's your place.
In the live version of the game, you could not rename any of your followers. In fact, you couldn't really name anything in your garrison at all, except
Nope.
for your battle pets that could follow you around if you had a tier 3 menagerie.
You can
I did not know you could do that.
Specializations. Currently, we're thinking we'll let you change the specialization probably once each day. We might put a cost on it to change the specialization. We don't want you swapping it all the time, but we definitely want to give you the option to change it without too much trouble. It's a really cool reward for getting rank 3 of a building. Not only do you get the new art, the better bonus, but you get this piece of customization that you can do to it. And those vary as well. Those can be things that would, maybe the infirmary gives you the option to resurrect out in the world like once per day. You know, someone from your infirmary.
Yeah, we saw this earlier.
Blizzard
That didn't
had plans
happen.
for tier 3 buildings to have a customizable bonus you could change out, kind of like a talent in a talent tree. Instead, all 3 tier bonuses were just fixed, and you could not change what a building did at all.
Yep.
Missions can be a number of different activities. Do a scenario take multiple days to run, but it's really that cool epic.
Oh
journey
yeah,
that
it's
these
not
followers
dungeons or
find to
scenarios or
do
raids,
awesome
it's just
Sending followers
quests.
on a mission.
hanging out. You can send them out to actually fight for you.
The original idea for sending followers out on missions was kind of treat them like real players that you would send out to do real player activities. Instead, all of the missions were exactly the same, and the only difference to them was how long they took and how hard they were to counter with their incredibly simple rock, paper, scissors system.
Yeah,
Most of the time,
pretty
you didn't even
much.
know what the flavor of the mission was, just that you needed to send a couple of followers on it in order to get the rewards.
You got to be able to pick where this stuff goes. So maybe you want to put your mage tower up on the hill in your garrison. Maybe you want to put your mage tower up near the front gate because you think that looks cooler. We're going to let you do that. You're going to get to pick where you want to put the buildings. This variety is really what gives us that customization we're looking for.
This statement makes it seem like you could put your buildings literally wherever you wanted.
Yeah,
When really,
they
you could just
definitely made
choose
it sound
one
like
of two
that.
plots at incredibly fixed
I feel like in the old layout, they definitely made it possible to do that kind of thing, but obviously they changed the layout, they changed the location. You can't really change that now. And the other one they showed, it looked more, it was more spacious. Looked like you had more freedom to do whatever.
which were so minorly customizable that it's almost laughable to think of that as what was stated in the clip.
Yeah.
It's an interesting stat. We played with it a little bit on the trinkets in the latest raid tier, and we don't think it's necessarily fun to be like, I'm going to put on my cleave set, I'm going to take off my cleave set. But if you get it as a bonus on some of your items, hey, that could be pretty cool. You'll do a little bit of extra AE cleaving sometimes.
When they announced the new tertiary stats for Warlords of Draenor, alongside an early version of Leech, Speed, Avoidance, and Indestructible, they also had Cleave as one of those extra stats you can get on your gear, which are also known as a minor attribute. Minor
Well, that
attributes
never
have an
happened,
incredibly low
clearly.
chance to proc on your gear, and generally are just bonuses that don't contribute too much to DPS. The Cleave stat seems like it was a pure DPS increase though, similar to Sockets, which is probably why they never added in the Cleave stat.
Do you know what the last boss is in Warlords of Draenor? Or can you tell us, please?
Gromash Hellscream.
Gromash Hellscream
Oh,
was not
what?
the final boss of Warlords of Draenor. It was instead Archimonde, which Gromash Hellscream does help you defeat Archimonde in the final battle. According to an early map, the Chronos Spire was meant to be the entrance point into Draenor, where it was speculated you would then stop the Iron Horde from finishing building the Dark Portal. The Chronos Spire seems to have been scrapped early in development, as it didn't actually
Whoa,
include any
what the
alpha or beta
fuck?
files at all, unlike Farallon. In lore, at the end of the War Crimes book, Kairos helps Garrosh escape trial by using a giant hourglass. So it makes sense that a giant hourglass would be the central hub in order to get into Draenor. However, they moved the location of where Kairos brought Garrosh to a spot in Nagran, where there is no hourglasses at all nearby, and just the corpse of Kairos himself. There's an item which was added to the game files called 6.0 Weapon Axe Two-Handed Gorehowl Remake Grom Hellscream Only, which has the model of a high-quality
Whoa!
There is speculation this was added to the game to be a legendary item because of this line of dialogue from an interview at Gamescom.
I'm shocked that it
He
wasn't.
said there could be another legendary apart from the ring type. What legendaries there could be then? We could imagine a legendary Gorehowl. That would be possible. Terran Gore also has a very nice staff. Yeah, that's a pretty cool staff. So this is also possible. We will see. If we see the imaginary Gorehowl, would it be just for Death Knights, Warriors, Paladins? Fictional warriors, of course. Probably to anyone who could carry a two-handed axe. So there was never any datamined legendary weapon, just this trash item, which I guess could be counted as cut content based on this interview. The Broken Horn Village is an abandoned village located in Gorgron which has nothing associated to it, but is friendly to Horde players and hostile to Alliance players. It's fully stocked with named NPCs and houses, and flies the banner of the Laughing Skull Clan, which is a reputation that Horde players can grind out with a level 2 trading post. It's speculated this was planned to be a quest hub or reputation center. The village itself is in the game, it's just not associated to anything, and there's no reason to ever go there. During the beta, Kargrath Bladefist, the first boss in Highmaul, originally survived the encounter at 1 health and ran away, leaving his hook behind to be looted. During the live version of the game, he just dies, and you can loot his body like normal. This was probably changed when they changed their mind on how they were going to finish off the storyline. During a blog post on a Blizzard French site, Blizzard announced class accessories, which would have no gameplay effect and just be something cool you can unlock and upgrade to get cool.
Dude, back in the day when WoW used to be so brutal, it's not brutal
There
anymore.
was some speculation that Zangomarsh was going to be its own zone.
They
but
took
even
the
Alpha
war
footage
out of
shows that it was
Warcraft.
always
Now it's
underwater.
just World
So
of
if that was the
Craft.
case, it was going to be a purely underwater zone like Vashj'ir. The zone even had its own soundtrack, and it has lots of work put into it, but was only ever actually involved in like 1 or 2 quests in the live version of the game. There was also art for a fungal world boss whale, which was never
Ooh.
added, probably because they abandoned whatever ideas.
That's
they
some
had for the
Subnautica looking shit right
in
there.
the game files, they added 4 new Battleground files called Small Battleground A, B, C, and D. Small Battleground A was just a whole bunch of assets taken from Bladespire Citadel, the scrapped Horde Capital, assets from the Battle for Gilneas, and some assets from Wintergrass, and doesn't really seem to have any cohesion on how it was supposed to be played. Small Battleground B is just a winter version for Rothy Basin, which was eventually released in Legion. Small Battleground C is just an empty plot
I
of land.
forgot about
And
Winter
Small Battleground
Arathi.
D was also an empty plot of land, which
Er,
was changed to a copy of Deepwind Gorge
you get
during
it.
patch 6.2 in Warlords of Draenor.
Wrong
During the
battleground. I can't
promotional
think of the
materials
name.
titled Ages of War Awaits, there's a segment that says they were going to do new normal and heroic scenarios,
Rothy
which were
Basin,
3-man
yeah.
mini-dungeons added in Mist of Pandaria, which haven't really been used since Mist of Pandaria. They had obviously planned on continuing the feature, but then scrapped it for whatever reason, and now only use it for solo quests. In alpha footage of Gorgon, you can see trains and train tracks at various points in the zone. These were eventually removed, and the only reference to them is in a dungeon, which confusingly has a fight on a train going through Gorgon, which doesn't actually exist in the open world version of Gorgon. This is a case of scrapped content directly influencing a dungeon.
Yeah,
was
that is a
probably
little
too far along
strange.
Development to completely change, so they just left it in anyway without really explaining it. In early development, there was a quest line
They
which
should
had
have
you
let
help
the
test
rails
raiding,
in.
find some herbs that would help stop the degradation of the Worgen curse. This was eventually scrapped and replaced with a Fiona storyline to get a plant in order to heal a sick dwarf instead. The likely reason this was changed was because the Tess Greymane plot point brings up actual major lore consequences, and they probably didn't intend to tackle such a large issue in a minor quest. In some early builds in the alpha, there were dialogues data mined involving both Murad and Yrel, which
R.I.P.
strongly hinted that they
Murad!
were going to be in a relationship, as I'll be showing them on screen. This was eventually changed at some point, probably when they rewrote the storyline for Talador, and instead Murad dies in one of the cinematics. There were a couple of
Oh my
islands included in
god,
the early versions of
I'm
the
so
map,
mad
and
they
you did
robbed
need to
her
play
of
along the
that.
Ogre continent,
It's no wonder
which
she
were never
became
given
so
any
bitter.
mentions about what they might be, and were removed from the map alongside Fairlawn. Although the Ogre continent still stays on the map funny enough, even to this day. Medivh had a short cameo talking to Gul'dan as a shadowy figure during the early stages of WoD. However, it was removed by launch. Having Medivh in the picture would open up alternative Azeroth storylines, so it was most likely removed to not have to deal with those major lore implications.
Wait!
Similar to why they removed the Feral Worgen storyline.
And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about this thing that we're calling the Trial of the Gladiator. Well, Trial of the Gladiator is the arena ladder. So one of the problems that we have is that it's very difficult to find people of your caliber, if you're a really high-end competitive player, to play with at the same time. And so really the Trial of the Gladiator is taking the concept of the arena ladder that we have right now and really focusing it to concentrate the queues at certain periods of time during the week so that you really get a lot of people in the queues at the same time. In addition, one of the really exciting things here is that we get to use what we call tournament rules. So this is a lot like the way the arena server works, right? So when you go to the arena server, it's not a competition about gear. Anybody can go to the Trial of the Gladiator and use the vendors and put on the gear that they want to use and hop right into the Trial of the Gladiator. It is purely about the skill.
Trial of the Gladiator was supposed to be a new arena mode, which would fix a lot of the problems in arena by putting everyone on an even gear playing field and also forcing players to queue at the same times in order to avoid match fixing. This was eventually cut, and Blizzard even gave an update on it, stating that the reason they cut it was because they didn't want to punish people who weren't able to play at the preset times for the Trial of the Gladiator, so they just scrapped the whole thing and reintroduced the skirmish system instead.
Huh.
In this video, we'll be going
Oh,
over...
nah. What are you talking about? I'm not watching that. Well, shit. Well, there we have it. That's everything we could have gotten in Warlords, but didn't. Holy shit, 3+ hours of cut content and WoW to fall asleep to? I'm watching that later. Holy shit, that looks amazing. Anyway, Blizzard, if you can hear me, as a somewhat long-standing fan of the game, this is the only thing I have to say. A lot of this stuff that was cut were concepts. You know what a concept is? Concept is something that can happen. And something that could still happen. You guys are very capable and able to make this kind of thing happen. And genuinely, speaking as a fan, I believe you can make either a fantastic remix out of Warlords with this missing content, or a fantastic classic relaunch with all the unadded content. I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe everybody would be so happy with a lot of this cut content happening in either remix or classic. And if it was in remix, for example, if it was in remix, once the event ends, it would just be implemented into the game permanently. I really think it could work. Honestly. It would take a lot of time, and if that was ever in the realm of possibilities, it might take a very long time before that remix would ever happen. But it is still in the realm of possibilities, you know? Oh, it's 1,000,000 to 1 that's gonna happen, but there's still one, you know? There's still one. I ain't pushing you. I ain't coercing you. I'm just saying. You know? It's possible. And as a longtime fan of WoW, I would love to see something like that. I'm sure lots of people would. Just throwing an idea out, that's all. I like ideas. Ideas are very good.